So here we have Santa putting on the last spots of that little giraffe. And on the tag it says, to Landon from Santa. Now, unfortunately, I told you I do one every year. 2013 was the last year I did Santa. So we're going on close to 40 years. And part of that is January 10th of 2014, literally weeks after I gave this to my mom, I lost my job with 7 years. I worked for a web development company down in Dover. One of the best jobs I ever had. I only had to report there 2 days a week. I worked from home, my studio the other 3 days. And it gave me freedom to do freelance, to do these paintings, to do murals. But when you lose that job and you have a 6-month-old job or a 6-month-old baby and a mortgage, you know, panic starts to set in. Luckily, because I had such a great job and I had the freedom to do other things, I did a lot of freelance work. Lots of design work. So these are some of my clients. If you look at the top, I have 3 full-time jobs. I have Dessert Project Murals, I have Design Elections, my designer company, and I'm a full-time stay-home dad. I'm also the creative director of 2 environmental agencies based out of California. One's out of Santa Monica, one's out of Laguna Beach, Eco Warrior, Earth's Oceans. And when it comes to design world, at the end of the year is always the busiest time. A lot of it is because companies are looking at how much money they made, they're thinking about taxes, and they like to spend money as a write-off on marketing. And that's usually when I'm at my busiest. Now, I always thought, I try to adjust it, okay, I'll do a Santa during the summer instead. But then people like the Football Hall of Fame come around, or Joe Namath come around, and I have to do a mural. It takes up my entire summer. This past summer, I can't say too much, but I was hired by the Hall of Fame, and I have 2 paintings going to this year's Super Bowl. Now, by contract, I'm not allowed discussing it any further than that until after the Super Bowl. But the fact of the matter is, I just don't have time to do Santas. And I can't tell you how much that bothers me. I've tried to figure out, I've given so many hours of thought of what can I do, what can I make my mom, what can I buy to replace that connection on Christmas Eve. I bought her a refrigerator. I bought her a big ring, it's on her finger. It's called her Santa ring, it's red, and it has little white diamonds around the outside of it. Last year I bought you a huge TV. And it just it doesn't fit the hole. It doesn't fill the hole. It's very, very difficult for me. So I've been giving a lot of thought, especially the last 2 years. I actually started as Santa Claus 3 years ago, and I never finished it. I got about an hour into it. I actually, 2 years ago, I wrote her an IOU coupon. and it's detrimental to me that I can't do that. And so I've put a lot of thought into it, and I realized that there is nothing I can do to replace that Santa for her. And I don't know about the future if I can do one, but I can tell you I did do one this year.
Mom, Dad, would you like to come this here? Oh, look at her! Look at her!
You got that.
Cindy.
So everyone, welcome to our family tradition. Mom, come here. You gotta get up in front of everyone. Dad, why don't you come up here too? Oh, look at her. Before you open this, I've had to do things I've never done before, like literally deny clients for over a month. I've done just enough to keep them happy. For a month, I have worked, I don't know, at least 10 hours a day, every single day to finish this painting. And yes, this is the one I started 3 years ago. The first year I got it drawn on the board. Second year I got the background painted. And this year I put in about 107 hours.
Wow.
Go on, open it. That's the back. 3 years ago, we went to Disney World. We took my son, who was only about 2 at the time. First day there, my son is... obsessed with trains because of my dad. My dad was born on the railroad street. My dad's a huge train. He has a whole basement full of them. My son was obsessed with trains. So our first day in Disney World, we hopped on the Magic Kingdom Express to go around the castle. We made about 3/4 of the way down, and the locomotive stalled, and we had to get off. Me being the artist I am, we're like, photo shoot. I took about 300 pictures of that locomotive because there's nowhere else I'm gonna get a locomotive that perfect and that pristine. I came home within.
Going by here.
How convenient is that? So here we had Santa driving the Polar Express, and my son at the time, he was about 3, hanging out the front window. So once again, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to have so many people now involved in our family tradition. Now, it's not Christmas Eve, Mom, so you have it for about another hour and a half, then you have to give it back. Well, I just want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Lynn for having me here. It's an honor, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah.